Hello everybody, my name is Sergiu. Today I want to walk you through basically replacing the flex cable in one of these old Nokia phones. What I have here is the N95 8GB version. This is the one that's got the bigger screen one. So essentially what happens is that when you power this thing on, I'll try and show you this, hopefully that works. Yep, I'm not sure if you can see, so I just powered the phone on, but the screen isn't coming on. Now, usually you'd be led to think that the screen is dead, but the way this thing is built is that it's, if you know it, it's on a slide, and if you don't know it, then here you have it. So what you have is this front bit, the upper bit here, that slides on top of the body of the phone, and you've got three keyboards. You've got one down here, you've got one up here, and the media keyboard up here, which is basically just a play, pause, and stop button for the music player. So usually the problem is that the flex cable, which is just like this, because I actually went as far as to get a replacement, because I'm pretty confident that's what the problem is, although I could be wrong. So let's see if I get proven wrong on this one. What I was going to do is I was going to pull this out. So the way it works is that you have this cable here, and that bit here, this bit there, the plug, that basically what it does, it plugs in, it plugs onto the motherboard just like that, and then the whole thing slides up and down just like this. Like that, and it's got the front, the phone front keyboard right there. You've got the light sensor up there, and the front-facing camera, all of which is mounted on this cable as it is. So what we're gonna do is let me just actually switch to this, and I'll explain what else I've got on here. I just got a small flashlight, which is actually quite bright, and it works. I've also got a screwdriver. Well, I've got a couple of screwdrivers, although this is like a 2-in-1 kind of thing. What you got here is a T-Star, T5, and T7, and this is pretty much all you need to take the whole thing apart, and hopefully the only tool we actually need, because I've got this other flat screwdriver here, but this is only for this is just so it helps me around, you know, just kind of lifting things and unplugging things. And the other thing that I got is the small the numbers keyboard. It's basically like a numpad. And the only reason why I have this is because I was trying to see if I want to replace it or not, because I don't know. That'll be, you know, we'll see. So right, so I'll just start taking this thing apart. One of the important things you want to be really careful with when it comes to this phone is that these basically these bits here, that's where the speakers are. The plastic bit that's basically covering the speaker there is actually glued onto the body of the phone, and well, you try not to break it when you take this apart. But the way this the back cover comes off is you basically just pull it off like this, and that should be that, and hopefully it will just pop off. Yep, that's pretty simple. So what you're looking at here is the covers for the speakers. That's where the speakers are. This whole green bit here is the antennas. There are a few of them. There's one down here as well. You've got the that's where the buttons are, the side ones for the camera, and that button there. So this one here. And this is very interesting about this phone. That button, that's the gallery button. So there is an actual dedicated, the small one right there, see, right next to the camera one. There is an actual gallery button, and that is very interesting. I've never actually seen that on any other phone apart from this one. Well, some of the Nokia models anyway. And the way this is put together basically is that you've got 4 screws here. You've got, let me just switch that around. So you've got that one, and those 2, and that one, and it shouldn't be hopefully too difficult to unscrew them. But what they do is that they hold the slide system onto the body of the phone. So if I unscrew them, it should not. Actually, I'll just do that one first. You should hopefully see how it's all put together. It's not. It's actually quite simple, or it should be anyway. And now, hopefully, the slide should just come right off. And so if we do that, what you will see here, right in there, is that plug. See? Well, it's obviously the it's facing the other way, but so what you want to do, obviously, when you unplug these things, is you don't want to touch any of the other electronics, obviously, and you just want to put one of these the flat screwdrivers actually work quite well, so that's the reason why I have it, just to unplug these things. So you want to hold the phone like that, and kind of put get the screwdriver under the plug, and then softly just push up, and there we go. That is it unplugged. So what you can see here is the motherboard itself. That's the camera module, and that's where the camera module is plugged into, and that's the keyboard. So this is where the other keyboard would go, would be put on basically. So that's how that's where we want to set it up. But I'm not so sure yet. You know, it's I'll have to see. It looks nicer. You know what? Let's just leave it on there and call it a day. Why not, since we've got it on anyway. Right, so next we have the slide itself. So what I was gonna do is I was gonna switch to the T5 and slowly unscrew these screws here. There's 4 of them. You've got a couple of them up here. Well, down here actually. This is that's the bottom of the bottom of the thing. I'll just quickly try and unscrew these. And I was gonna get to probably the most important part of this whole video, and that is, as you take this off, yeah, what you can see here anyway is that's the speaker in there, and that's where the camera, that's the protection lens for the front-facing camera, and that's where the light sensor faces into the light, and basically we're just gonna use the flat screwdriver, just like that, just to hold that on, and we'll unplug the screen. As I said, as you could see on the other on this other cable here, is that you've got the screen plug just there, and you want to be really careful with this when you unplug it, because you don't want to damage that plug. So just like that, and then the screen comes right off. You can just pretty much just grab it like that, and hopefully you can see, and then it comes right off. Right, well, you can see attached to it is a small magnet here, and this is very important. This magnet, right, let me just pull this out quickly. That's the old cable. That's the damaged one. So, well, I think so anyway. I'm pretty confident this is the problem, but we'll see. So this magnet here, what it does is it basically just sits there in that slot, which hopefully you can see, and it slides across the slide just like that, basically, with the slide. And here on the motherboard, there's a it should be anyway, or is it up here? Nope, it should be on the motherboard. There's a magnet there, and then you've got one, this magnet, basically what it does is just slides across this bit here, and it tells the phone, because that's a sensor at the other end of that, and it tells the phone whether the slide is up or down. So if the slide is up, then you've got like that should be right up there. So if the slide is up, then the magnet is up here somewhere, and it's coupling. It's got a better coupling with the one that's underneath there. And then when it's down here, then it knows, the phone knows that the slide is down. You've got the magnet up there, you got the slide up, magnet down here. The phone is sorry, the slide is down. Now, the important part is that once you put this on, let me just try and get the which one of these was it? On the yep, that's the good one. So what you want to try and do is I'm just checking. Hope I didn't get these mixed up. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's that was the one, because it had these sticky bits on the bottom of it. So I was gonna put that on, just like that. Oh, whoops. Right, that should fit. And then you want to put the magnet back in, like that, and then the screen. Whoops. I'm trying to hold that and work at the same time. This screen, by the way, that's funny bit of trivia about it, is that it fits the Nokia N96 as well. And I'll show you in a second. I don't have the N96, but we can Google for it, and you'll see what it's like. It's a pretty nice phone. It's the same idea, though. You've got a slide and 3 keyboards. So that plugs in there, just like so. And then the very, very, very important part here is to make absolutely sure that the magnet actually sits in its slot, because as you can see underneath there, the screen rests right on top of it, and if the magnet is not in there, and it's up here, or well, just wobbling around, and it gets caught by the screen, when you put pressure on it, so basically when you put the cover back on, it will press against the screen and it will break the screen. And I mean that for real. It happened to me, and it happened to a lot of other people. So you have to be really, really careful with the magnet. It absolutely must stay in its socket there. So you must make sure that that's done. But other than that, it should be just fine. So yeah, that's kind of how it plugs back together. The other thing that I like to do is I like to kind of clean the back of this screen here, the back of the screen cover. That should be clean. All right, so that looks all right. Just gonna blow the dust off. Right, and then the cover obviously just goes back on just like it came off. So you say, oh yeah, gotta put the actual keys back, and those should be resting on top of the keyboard, just like that. Yep. And I was just gonna put that back on, and basically, yeah, that's the important bit. Just make absolutely sure that the magnet sits where it should be, in its place, because otherwise it will just press against the back of the screen and it will crack the screen. And it's a bit of a shame, because this is a really nice phone and I like to use it. And obviously if you don't have the magnet in there, then you don't have you won't know when the phone is up or down, when the slide is up or down. You know what? I'm just gonna grab some super glue, and I was gonna glue that magnet onto the plate, the back plate, because, you know, better safe than sorry, I think. Right, I'll just grab some super glue. And I'm back. What I found here is even a better option. This is plastic adhesive, so I was just gonna use some of this. You don't need a lot, obviously, just a tiny bit to hold the magnet in place. So I was gonna drop some of that on there, just like that. And right, so if we place the magnet on top of that, that should be just fine. Hopefully you can see. Right, I was just gonna give it a few minutes just to make sure it's actually drying, because you don't want the back of the screen to glue to that. Just make sure that that's glued on there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm not seeing any other residue. So let's just plug the screen back on. I'm just gonna grab it like that, and the annoying bit on this screen is that the cable is actually just a touch longer than it should be, so it doesn't quite sit well in there. But hey ho, you know, that's that. Just gonna clean that corner there because I touched it. Yep, that's good. Right, so if we put this back on, just like so. So once again, just making sure that the magnet is where it should be, and it is. We put that back on, and with the keys, I should be able to just put the cover on, and that should be this done. In theory, anyway. So that's that. And then we're gonna put the cover back on, and hopefully just make sure that's that the speaker is in there. It should be. And that should be just nearly there. Gotta make sure it actually clicks. So we're just gonna put the small T-start screws back in, and obviously you want to make sure you don't over tighten them. Right, now what you want to do, you want to make sure that the keys, that the numpad doesn't fall off, and then, you know, using the same technique, you want to plug the tiny flex plug right back in there, and that should be plugged in just like that. It's actually a pretty solid connection, that thing there. And then I just want to make sure that everything sits in place. Now if we slide that back in just like that, we should be able to just put the screws back on. That's the T7s that hold the whole thing together. So that's a couple of them there. Gotta switch this around to get to the to use the T7 head, and then we'll screw them in. Obviously not too tight, same idea. So if we put the we put this back on, and now again the same idea is you don't want to take off the speaker covers. This is also acting as a as an enclosure for the speakers. If you don't have that on, then the speakers aren't going to be too loud because of it. So that needs to just pop in, just like that. Click on, and we put the battery back in. I thought I was going to use that flashlight, but apparently I didn't. So there is so much light coming from the lights that I'm using, and that's it. That's that should be everything. So now if we try, whoops, I was doing the wrong screen there. So, right, moment of truth. Let's see if I was right about this. Hopefully, if I power the phone on, the screen should come on. Oh, there we go. At least we got a white screen. That is really weird. It's actually right, there we go. Now you should be able to see it. Cool. Right, look at that. The date is the 1st of January 2008. Oh man, these things are quite old. Anyway, so let's what's today? Today is yes, I do have a normal phone. So today is the 4th of December, and that's when I'm filming. So the 4th and 12th 2019, and we'll set the time, which is 9:16. Let me just actually switch back to the camera just so you can see. See? So now it's working. It was definitely the flex cable, and that, you know, you see that a lot with these phones actually. It's it does happen. Right. So there we have it. That is not bad. You know what? I was actually just gonna change the brightness on this thing because it is quite bright. And the other the other thing you want to check is good thing I remember. Can you hear when you press something? Can you hear that click, the beeping? It just goes tick tick. You know, well, not tick tick, but beep. That comes through the speaker up here, and obviously that's that tells you that the speaker is working, because sometimes you find with these flex cables that not all of them will pass sound for some reason. The other thing I was gonna try is the front-facing camera. So far what we have is the back camera, and as you can see, hopefully that is 30 FPS. Hopefully that actually comes through. How about that for 2007? Probably. That is not too bad. Right, so let's try out the front-facing camera just to make sure. That is that's the that's the webcam that I'm using, so it should be coming up on the screen. It's actually not too bad, you know. Right, so that is that. Right. Oh, come on, work for me. Oh, there we go. Right, yeah. So that's it for today, I think. Thanks for watching. It was a lot of fun actually doing this. I've been meaning to change the flex cable in this thing for a while now, but I just couldn't quite get to it. The other thing that I want to do is I was gonna try, hopefully next week, to make a video about smartphones in general, and just talk about the kinds that I like and the kinds that I dislike. Obviously, I've got my Note 9 here, so it's not like I'm using an N95. Even though I could quite simply use it because I like it, but it's obviously obsolete. So you know, But yeah, I was gonna make a video about all the, because I've got some old smartphones laying around, and I was gonna talk about them, and yeah. Right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.